Welcome to an ABM Global webinar. In this webinar, I am going to speak to you about corporate social responsibility or CSR. Corporate social responsibility is a business approach that contributes to sustainable development by delivering economic, social and environmental benefits to all stakeholders. So corporate social responsibility is the responsibility of a corporate to the public. So a corporate has certain responsibility to the society or to the public, which is promoting his business, which is the main reason why a business is flourishing. The people are the reason for any business or any corporate. Unless people accept the corporate, their business cannot improve. So the corporate also has an equal responsibility to the public, which can be described as social. Corporate social responsibility, their social responsibility towards the public. So CSR is a concept with many definitions and practices. So corporate social responsibility, it cannot be clearly defined as one thing because it can be attained in many ways. So corporate social responsibility is a form of corporate self-regulation integrated into business model. So CSR policy functions as a self-regulatory mechanism whereby a business monitors and ensures its active compliance with the spirit of the law, ethical standards and national or international norms. So social responsibility is something which a corporate can take up on a voluntary basis. Though there is a requirement for CSR in India, the corporate responsibility has to be taken by the corporate. It should be a willing effort on the part of the corporate. With some models, a firm's implementation of CSR goes beyond compliance and engages in actions that appear to further some social good beyond the interest of the firm and that which is required by law. So the requirement by the law, the action, the spontaneous action by the corporate and the interests of the society. All this clubbed together, CSR can be actively worked out on the basis of corporate responsibility and the requirement of the society. The aim of CSR is to increase long-term profits and shareholder trust through positive public relations and high ethical standards to reduce business and legal risk by taking responsibility for corporate actions. CSR strategies encourage the company to make a positive impact on the environment and stakeholders including consumers, employees, investors, communities and others. So CSR is making a positive impact on consumers, its employees, its investors and the communities where the business is being established. India is one of the first countries to bring CSR into effect. So the CSR Act in India was passed in the Parliament in the year 2013 and the Act came into force from 1st April 2014. So the CSR Act stipulates that every company, whether it is a private limited or a public limited, which has a net worth of 500 crores, rupees 500 crores or a turnover of 1000 crore rupees or a net profit of 5 crores. So the stipulation is that the company should have a net worth of 500 crores or it should have an annual turnover of 1000 crores or the corporate should have made a profit of 5 crore rupees continuously for 3 years. So such a company is required to spend at least 2% of its average net profit for CSR activities. So CSR, the areas where the company can invest money include education, poverty alleviation, gender equality and hunger relief. So CSR activities should be undertaken in normal course of business and must be with respect to any of the activities mentioned in Schedule 7 of the CSR Act 2013. Contribution to any political party is not considered to be a CSR activity, and only activities in India would be considered for computing CSR expenditure. So corporate social responsibility is applicable to any organization which is making a profit of rupees 5 crores and above for 3 successive years. All such companies need to spend 2% of their net profit on CSR activities. So CSR guidelines are very clear. CSR Act came into force on April 1st, 2014. That means all the companies as on today which is having a net worth of rupees 500 crores, annual turnover or an annual turnover of rupees 1000 crores or a net profit of rupees 5 crores has to take up CSR activities. Areas they can invest the money are education, so they can start schools, they can give money for improving education in certain areas, they can take up a village, start their own schools or give aid to a school which is functioning in a remote area or take up a special education project. All this will qualify CSR spending. Similarly, poverty alleviation. So certain areas in India, especially in rural India, needs a lot of public support to improve their standard of living. Such areas can be taken up by corporates, give money under CSR for improving their lifestyle, their living. All this will qualify for CSR expenditure. Similarly, gender equality, especially the case of the girl child. We know in many areas girls are not giving adequate importance. They are not sent to schools. They are not given education. So taking up a girl child and educating her, the expenditure can be compounded under CSR expenditure of a corporate. Similarly, poor people, hungry people in the villages, suppose some drought-driven area or a place where the natural calamity has struck, corporates should spend some money to bring relief to a place where people are suffering because of certain natural calamities. Such expenditure can also be compounded under CSR. The present contribution of CSR is 2% of the company's profit. So we can see that many corporates, we are happy to see that many corporates like the Tatas, Birlas, Wipro, Biocon, to mention a few, have spent more than the required profit share on CSR. So CSR also has brought lot of corporates to the field of charity. But again the question, should CSR be a voluntary activity rather than an imposed stipulation? Many of us feel that CSR should be a voluntary activity, so it should not be a government act alone. So government has given a guidelines, but the activity should come from the part of the corporate. Stipulations of government on corporates to shoulder imposed social responsibility add to additional outflow of their profit. So every corporate is unhappy because a percentage of their profit government is already taking as taxes, and again the corporates are asked to pay additional 2% of their net profit. That means corporates are left with little profit. So many corporates are unhappy because government has imposed certain guidelines on them. That is one side. But if you look at certain other corporates, somebody is doing willingly the corporate requirements. So we can see many of the corporates like the Tatas, the Birlas, the Biocon, the Wipro, all these corporates, they have spent a larger share of their profit for CSR activities. It may not be directly a CSR activity, but it is a developmental activity on the part of the corporates. So the corporate spending for improvement of the life of people in the society, it will qualify for CSR expenditure. If you look at projects like Biocon, so according to Forbes, the international book which describe the activities of corporates, which grade the corporates according to their income or their net worth, Forbes has named Kiran Majumdar-Shah of Biocon. They have specially mentioned the contributions of Kiran Majumdar-Shah because she has already pledged to give away 70% of her wealth. Currently it is estimated at $625 million. She has given a pledge that her wealth, part of 75% of her wealth will go for public welfare. This is a big contribution on the part of a corporate. She has also donated about $33 million to various causes since 2005, including to building a 100-bed cancer center in Bangalore. So some of the corporate heads, they are giving a very large amount for the public cause. Similarly, Asim Premji, who is the head of Wipro. So Asim Premji is also ranked as the third richest person in India with a fortune of $13 billion, announced that he is donating $2.2 billion or 12% of his stake to a trust to fund his education focused Asim Premji Foundation. So 12% of Wipro's chairman Asim Premji's wealth, which is calculated at $2.2 billion, the entire amount goes to a foundation which is for improving the education of people. Such great contributions are being done by people. The current CSR spending both by Tata and Birla Group are well beyond the 2% profit stipulated under CSR Act. It is encouraging to note that many corporates go beyond the stipulated spending on CSR, and hopefully such spending will improve the quality of lives in many areas of our country.